Heya Cryptozens, it's 10 p.m. Pacific time. My name is Nikodemus, and welcome back to the Crypto Overnighter, where we take a nightly look at the crypto, NFT, and metaverse space. And keep in mind, nothing in this show should ever be considered financial advice. And it's Friday, December 16th, 2022, 10 p.m. It's the weekend. You made it. Let's go. What do you think of proof of reserves? Because ever since FTX collapsed, it's the hottest must-have item of the season. But is it warranted? I ask because crypto exchanges, including Binance, KuCoin, Crypto.com, have been working with auditors to increase transparency and to assure users that their assets are secure. However, two of the most well-known auditors, Mazars Group and Mazars Veritas, have recently stopped offering crypto auditing services. This is causing some concern for these exchanges. Further, the website for Mazars Group, which is a French auditing firm, it shows that section that's dedicated to crypto audits is offline. Now, so far, Mazars has not made an official announcement. However, Binance confirmed that the auditing firm has told them it is temporarily stopping its work with all crypto clients worldwide. A spokesperson for Binance said that the FTX incident has led people to seek more reassurance that other exchanges will not fail. They explained, quote, "It was FTX's failure to ensure exchange assets were greater than its liabilities to customers that caused its insolvency. So, naturally, people want multiple ways of verifying that this won't happen again." Now, Binance has said that it's contacted other accounting firms, including those of the Big Four. They said that they will use other technical solutions to address the problem. Additionally, accounting firm Armanino has reportedly stopped offering crypto auditing services. It has worked with OKX, Gate.io, and FTX in the past. Now, Forbes, citing anonymous sources, reported that Armanino may be facing pressure from its non-crypto clients due to its involvement in a class action lawsuit related to its inability to detect problems at FTX. Armanino started offering crypto auditing services in 2014. Their offerings include proof of reserve audits and stablecoin attestations. These services are currently in high demand due to the FTX collapse, which has made users more cautious about centralized crypto trading platforms. And this could become a serious problem for Binance, because this week they've been under attack due to fear, uncertainty, and doubt. The FUD monster. However, a new report from CryptoQuant has shown that Binance's proof of reserves is accurate. Now, CryptoQuant is a company that analyzes blockchain data. That's their gig. And they examined Binance's proof of reserves audit. And this is because of the increased attention because of the failure of FTX. Binance has been trying to show its customers and investors that it has enough reserves and is fully supported. CryptoQuant released a report on December 14th. This report states that their analysis confirms that Binance's reserves are accounted for. Previously, Binance released a proof of reserves report, but it received criticism for not being a full audit and for not addressing internal financial controls. However, CryptoQuant supports the finding of Mazars. They state that Binance's reported liabilities are almost equal to their estimation of 99%. Quote, "The report shows Binance Bitcoin liabilities, customer deposits, are 97% collateralized by the exchange assets. Collateralization increases to 101% when the Bitcoin lent to customers is accounted for." CryptoQuant also noted that on-chain data indicates that Binance's Ethereum and stablecoin reserves weren't showing FTX-like behavior. They said that Binance has a, quote, "clean reserve." Now, what they mean by that is that a low proportion of its total assets is held in its own token, BNB. Remember how FTX, they had a lot of FTT, and they were using that for collateral, and then that went to zero, so their collateral was worth nothing? Anyway, data provider Nansen reported that about 10% of Binance's reserves are held in BNB, with Binance holding a total of $60.4 billion in assets in its publicly disclosed addresses, with about 6.2% of that being BNB. Now, whether this means Binance is happy and healthy or not, I don't know. I think so. I sure hope so, because if Binance goes down, who's next? Now, meanwhile, on the topic of reporting assets, that subject has reached the House of Representatives. And the reason why I say that is Representative Patrick McHenry, because he wants the Treasury Department to start making clearer rules about reporting digital assets and to delay the effective date of those rules. McHenry, a Republican from North Carolina, thinks that the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act did not clearly define brokers of digital assets in a way that would increase tax collection from cryptocurrency transactions. He also thinks that these rules could be misunderstood as applying to intermediaries for custodial digital assets. Last year, McHenry introduced his own bill to change the provisions about reporting digital assets in the infrastructure package. Now, McHenry is getting ready to take the job of leading the House Financial Services Committee. He wrote a letter to Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. In that letter, he said the provisions in the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act were debated a lot. He also said that if the Treasury Department does not interpret these provisions correctly, it will harm the privacy of American taxpayers and make it difficult for businesses to innovate due to rising compliance costs and unnecessary regulations. The cryptocurrency industry tried, but failed, to change the definition of a broker in the infrastructure bill that Joe Biden signed last year. They believed that the definition could include many different businesses related to digital assets, which would have trouble following the law. The Treasury Department promised not to apply the legal language as broadly as it could in order to ease these concerns from the industry, especially those concerns about difficult requirements for miners or other people in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. However, the interpretation of these rules could change when there are new leaders in the department. So McHenry's letter to Yellen was him urging the department to publish rules outlined in Section 80603 and delay the effective date of these rules. This would allow businesses to comply with any new requirements. The new law also directs the Treasury Department to include digital assets in the definition of tax collection and reporting purposes. McHenry thinks that this could be a privacy issue. McHenry also wrote that the Treasury Department cannot avoid the formal rulemaking process by issuing an interpretive final rule or just issuing guidance. Now, speaking of Secretary Yellen, according to a report from the Financial Stability Oversight Council, the FSOC, there are some serious gaps in the oversight of cryptocurrencies. The FSOC is a panel of U.S. financial agency heads, including Yellen and Jerome Powell. The FSOC report states that only Congress has the power to establish a full set of rules for the entire cryptocurrency industry. This view has been held for a long time by U.S. regulators, lawmakers, and the industry itself. The FSOC report recommended that legislation be passed. This legislation would allow regulators to oversee the activities of all affiliates and subsidiaries of cryptocurrency companies. Yellen stated that risks related to digital assets are a key priority in this year's report. She noted that there have been significant shocks and volatility in the cryptocurrency market over the past year, including in recent months. The FSOC was created after the financial crisis in 2008 to identify potential future financial risks. Officials emphasized that the current issues with cryptocurrencies do not currently pose a risk to the traditional financial system. They provided a recent example in the form of the collapse of FTX. That collapse caused a whole lot of turmoil in the industry, but it had a very limited impact in the U.S. financial system. Now, regulators discussed recent developments in the cryptocurrency market in a private portion of the FSOC meeting. In attendance were the heads of the SEC and the CFTC. According to a summary of the conversation, they are closely monitoring these developments, and so far, any impact on the traditional financial system has been limited. Gensler stated that while there are risks from the cryptocurrency market, they have not yet spread to the traditional financial sector. They must, however, remain vigilant to prevent this possibility. He also noted that the largely non-compliant market is putting individual investors at risk. The FSOC annual report also highlighted the idea of eliminating the middleman in the clearing of cryptocurrency derivatives trades. This would include the possibility of positions being closed out by an automated system. Now, the council called for a closer examination of the potential dangers of this concept. Even though the proposal by FTX was abandoned when the company collapsed, these sentiments are similar to those expressed in an earlier report released by the council in October at the request of President Biden. This report suggested that Congress needed to choose an agency with authority over spot markets for Bitcoin trading and other cryptocurrencies that are not considered securities. Most legislation currently favors the CFTC for this role. The judge in the FTX case has decided to let the media organizations argue for the release of creditors' names. The New York Times, Dow Jones, Bloomberg, and the Financial Times will present their arguments in January. Previously, the judge had decided to keep the names of the top 50 creditors confidential, but these 4 news organizations filed a lawsuit requesting the names be made public. Creditors in the FTX case are owed about $3.1 billion after the exchange's collapse. FTX's new management's lawyer described the collapse as, quote, one of the most abrupt and difficult collapses in the history of corporate America. FTX believes that releasing the creditors' names could reveal private information like email or physical addresses. According to John J. Ray III, the new CEO of FTX, the company was poorly managed. He said they used consumer apps like Slack and QuickBooks to manage their finances. Now, in the meantime, lawyers representing FTX's provisional liquidators have denied allegations. Now, these are allegations that Bahamian officials were giving their residents preferential treatment during FTX's collapse. Jason Zakia, a partner at White & Case, stated in the December 16th hearing that these allegations were unfounded. He also pointed out that the provisional liquidators, who were appointed by the Supreme Court of the Bahamas in November, had no involvement in the downfall of FTX before its bankruptcy. He also stated that there are more jurisdictions with legitimate interests in international cases like the collapse of FTX. He emphasized that the Bahamian legal system is independent and should be respected. Zakia also addressed allegations that Bahamians were prioritizing payments to their own residents over other creditors. He argued that the appointment of the joint provisional liquidators was actually an attempt to prevent this type of activity. The next hearing available to the public is expected on January 11th. This is likely to address the cryptocurrency exchange's naming rights deal over the FTX arena. And finally, let's take a look at Argentina. Now, they love their crypto in Argentina, as they should, because they've got some crazy high inflation rates. Storing value in crypto is about the only way to preserve some wealth in the face of some rampant inflation. We're talking about, at the time of writing, Argentina is facing a 92.4% 12-month inflation rate. So Argentina needs some help. To that end, the government of San Luis, Argentina, has approved a stablecoin called the Activo Digital San Luis de Oro, which will be pegged to the US dollar. It will be available to all adults in San Luis and will be backed by financial assets in the province. Now, this stablecoin can be issued up to 2% of the province's annual budget. People will be able to transfer assets using the stablecoin, but it is not clear which blockchain will be used for the transactions. And so this bill, called Financial Innovation for Investment and Social Economic Development, includes the issuance of a stablecoin and includes NFTs by local artists. The goal is to use blockchain technology to improve development in various sectors in the province, including creating value and improving auditing procedures. The use of NFTs is also aimed to promote financial and cultural inclusion. Inflation in Argentina is causing more companies and governments in the country to adopt cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. A report from Chainalysis found that around 30% of consumers in Argentina already use stablecoins for everyday purchases, likely for small retail transactions. And that's going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank you, my listeners, because when you stop listening, I will stop talking. We'll see you tomorrow night.